Hellos, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be doing the weekly healing circle, and this is not going to be a super long live, just because I'm in the process of like sending out readings, and I want to make sure I get to everybody tonight. So we're going to try to keep it at the 30-minute mark. Y'all know I can talk though, so I'm going to try to keep it to the point, straight to the point. But yeah, we'll try to keep it very straightforward for the messages for this week. Jupiter goes into Taurus tomorrow. Who is excited? I know I am. I know I am. There is a beautiful Taurus stellium happening right now. Very powerful Taurus stellium happening right now. It's just a really potent time. Very potent time. Even while, Mercury retrograde energies, it's still a really potent time collectively. It's a very grounding time. It's a very getting ourselves together time. Also, I just wanted to remind you guys before, at the beginning of this video, so I don't forget, I'm having a special on all of my services, all of my readings and services, any of my services, any of my classes, any of my courses are 44% off with the code MAMALOVE in all caps, because I'm doing a special for Mother's Day, which I know you're like, Abby, Mother's Day was yesterday, but in my family, my mom doesn't celebrate American, United States Mother's Day. So she'll always, I'll call her every year and she'll be like, call me when it's Dominican Mother's Day, which is on the 28th of May. So the sale is going to run until then because I love my mama. So it's called Mama Love in all caps, to get 44% off all services. So if you need a reading or whatnot, do the thing. There will be quite a bit of videos going up this week, so stay tuned, including one that will be going up tomorrow for the Jupiter and Taurus. There's going to be a pick a card video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, definitely a very powerful time, a very powerful shift. One of the things we've been talking about, especially if you've been here from the last weekly healing circles, is the fact that Jupiter sets the tone for the whole year, right? Because Jupiter's transits last about a year. So when it comes to the theme of the year, it's very Jupiter energy. And so Jupiter going into Taurus is very significant. It's really important. If you have not done your transits, highly recommend a transit reading. If you don't know where Jupiter is falling for you, at the bare minimum you could do is go check where you have Taurus, where Taurus sits for you. Whether if you have a planet there or if you just have that within your houses, where does it sit for you? That way you know where Jupiter is going to be expanding and where there's going to be a lot of activity going on, for the remainder of the year. Up until next year. Okay, up until next year. Up until April. Up until, it's going to be a while. So the best that we can do is work with it, ground ourselves with it, and try to navigate the best with it. But there's definitely going to be a lot of changes. Taurus is an earth sign, so it's a lot of physical changes. It's a lot of monetary changes, because also Taurus rules possessions. It rules value. So things that you own. So that includes money. That includes your home. That includes, it really depends on what it is that you are looking to possess. And it also depends on which house it is. Because let's say you have Jupiter in your 9th house, you might, go back to school or spend money on a training, or, build your book collection, or it really depends. It really depends on what it is. Depending on what house you have it in is how the energy will manifest. And then you'll have to, try your best to work through and, navigate through it. So it's important 1000% to make sure you check where Jupiter is transiting in Taurus for you, what house it falls in, so you know where the energies is going to be, and you can kind of work with it ahead of time, right? If you know where it's going to be, you're like, okay, so this is going to be my focus, the theme of the year. I get to, put some energy into this area of my life, so you could, work one-on-one, right, with your own existence. A lot of the time, Especially for those folks who don't really set like resolutions or goals. They're just kind of rolling with it, or just waiting for the next kind of opportunity to take on. So if you don't work with the energies in that way, there's certain years that tend to be better than others. And it really, because that happens because the way the transits are happening, like the transits are trying to make you focus on this one area, and you could just be trying to focus on this other area, but that's literally not supposed to be your focus for that year. So it makes it easier when you already know, like, oh, this is the area of my life. This is where I need to, be focusing on. This is what I need to be doing. This is where I need to, put my attention, including when it comes to spell work, because let's keep it 100. This is going to be a really amazing time for grounding work, ancestral work, money work, business, finances, all when it comes to anything, monetary, because Taurus does rule money, like the financial institutions. It's gonna be a time. It's gonna be a time. Jaguar Bruja said, hello, I'm so excited about Egypt. Like what? Setting my intentions already. I am so excited. For those who don't know, the link will be down below. And if you're on TikTok or on Instagram, the link will be in my bio. But I'm doing my first spiritual retreat. And you guys voted, because I've been asking you for a couple months now. Okay, we've been gathering the votes, and the number one place that you guys voted for to go to was Egypt. So we're going to be going next year in January. It's going to be incredible. There's going to be a full moon in Leo ceremony. It's going to be amazing. Like, just trust that your Capricorn girl is going to plan it real well. Just trust. Definitely, if you want to state, I made a video about it. Okay, I made a video about it on my YouTube. So if you want to kind of get the breakdown of what we're going to be doing within the dates, and also the spiritual things that we're going to be doing as well, that video is on my YouTube. But definitely make sure you click the link in my bio and sign up for email updates, which will be in the link in my bio. For those who are on YouTube, is in the link in the description, so you don't miss out like from any of the updates, because the availability is very limited. So yeah, it's gonna be a nice decent sized group, but it's limited. It's not gonna be like 50 people, because that's too big to accommodate like a really large group. So if you think, even if you're like, oh my god, I would love to kind of get more information, make sure you put your email in the link and do the thing. Okay. But yeah, there's a couple of other locations that were also like top 3, top 5. Morocco was one of them. Listen. Ooh. DR was one of them too, which is fun. That one's fun. What was the other one? There was a couple of other ones. It was like Bali, the Philippines too. You guys were picking some fun ones. New Orleans was in there too, and I was like, ooh, that would be cute. New Orleans is a vibe, honestly. When I went to New Orleans, the first time I went was with my sister, and it was amazing energy. But every single time when you're walking through the French Quarter, every block has a different vibe. Just because of all of the spirits and the energies and stuff. But it was really it was fun. Except for when we went on the tour on the whatchamacallit, the bayou, is that what it's called, where we went to go see the alligators, right? And we were on the boat. And why did your girl decide to wear a white top? I looked like a whole marshmallow. That gator was just like scoping my butt. Listen, but yeah, New Orleans is also up there in the list. There's quite a lot of them. I'm gonna try my best to plan out the retreats moving into the next couple of years, so we have some really nice things that we're doing. But yeah, they're going to be, ceremony. Very much, we're gonna have a full moon Leo ceremony in Egypt. That's one of the things I wanted to do, and it's gonna be potent. It's gonna be potent. I cannot wait. So make sure you sign up. Link in bio or link in description for, to stay updated on that. So collectively, messages for the week. What do we need to know for this week? They be flipping too fast sometimes. Too fast. Okay, one more card. What do we need to know for this week? What are the messages? Okay. All right. Okay. Once I start getting attacked with cards, that's when you know. That's when you know. Okay. So for those who are very much under like the Mercury retrograde vibes and energies and situations, okay. We're starting off this week with the Two of Cups energy. Am I surprised about this? No. Why? Because we're under a Venus rule season. Taurus doesn't just care about, you know, money. It's about possessions. It's about the things that they have. That includes love relationships. That includes love relationships. So there's a lot going on there. The good thing about Taurus season is that it helps to ground relationships, but there's definitely certain things like Mercury retrograde is definitely stirring some mess that need to be addressed. Fun times. There's definitely certain things that need to be addressed. And due to the fact that Mercury is very much sitting in this like Taurus energy, there's a stubbornness that comes with communication with this specific transit, because Taurus is the stubbornest sign, astrologically speaking, period. And because they're stubborn when it comes to communication, because Mercury is such a fluid planet, if you look at the signs that it rules with Gemini and Virgo, even Virgo, which is an earth sign, it's still mutable. It goes with the flow. It's more grounded than Gemini, right? But it still goes with the flow. It's still very much in this kind of mutable state. It's in a changeable state. It addresses things as they come. So when it comes to this, you know, Mercury retrograde right now, there's definitely certain things stirring up. There's a lot of like internal, if there's certain things that have been haunting you, okay, certain things that feel, you know, like you're something about the past, something about the way something was said, something about the way something, you know, was expressed or communicated, or if you're just wanting clarity in a connection or a relationship, in a something, okay, whatever it is, there's definitely a longing for that this week. Okay, there's a longing for that, and the retrograde is actively going to be, you know, stirring some stuff up. So you have to really take some time to be gentle with yourself. You do have to take some time to focus on your mental health, and you do have to also take some time to process what you're meant to learn from this experience. Okay, because a lot of the time, yes, while Taurus energy is very like, oh, I have this, I have a partner, I have this, I have a home, I have this. When something goes wrong and when something doesn't feel good, it's kind of a little bit, when something's threatening, like when there's like a disagreement, or when, you know, pleasure is not being had, right? Which is very much not how Taurus wants to live their lives. But when pleasure is not being had, and something doesn't feel good, it feels almost like a threat to the comfortability and the grounding of those relationships. So there's a sense of like, are we still okay? Is everything fine? Like there's a sense of anxiety surrounding that grounding. The good thing is that, you know, communicating how you're feeling really helps to realign back to, you know, back to center. Okay, this is towards the end of the week. We have the Nine of Cups, the Three of Cups, and then the King of Cups, which brings you emotional stability, where, you know, the situation might seem like it feels like a blessing in disguise. Like this might be something that's internally feeling like a haunting experience, feeling like, oh my God, yo, this doesn't make, I'm not feeling good about this. I don't like this. I'm not vibing with it. Like it's just something about this, like it's stuck in my head. I haven't been able to let it go. Like I understand that, but trust that you opening yourself up to that communication, whether it's just you being blunt, okay, or you just speaking your mind and saying, hey, this is how I'm feeling. You know, I'm just gonna tell you how I'm feeling. I'm just gonna give it to you straight. I'm just gonna do that. It's going to actually lead to way more clarity and way more emotional grounding, which is the fun part. You just have to actually communicate. You have to make an effort. This is a time where, again, because the energy is so full of pleasure, like I need you guys to understand this. Taurus it's a very, very grounded sign, and they live to enjoy themselves. Okay, y'all know that what's it called, that Arabian perfume, that it's a body oil actually. I don't know if y'all seen it on TikTok. Babe will be getting it for me soon, because She already knew. But that perfume where the girl was describing the perfume as like it smells like some woman with, you know, wearing like something with her yitties out, eating, like being fed fruit. And that was probably like the best description of, you know, that perfume that you could probably give. And then everybody started buying it because it just sounded so enticing. Yeah, that's Taurus energy. That's exactly what Taurus energy is. That's exactly what it feels like. That's exactly how they want to live their lives. They just want to live their best lives, like just sitting in their just comfort, grounded, and eating something delicious. Because Taurus is also rule food. They're a very grounding sign, right? They also rule food. So it's important to also notice how when things are not feeling good during Taurus season, once you come back into pleasure, everything feels very, very secure. Everything feels way more secure. And you're able to, you know, because you're coming back to that security, because you're coming back to center, because you are feeling way more grounded, more comfortable, there is a sense of like power that also that you get to sit in. Because what? Because you feel good. You feel great. So Taurus season, think about it. It's springtime, right? Flowers are blossoming, fruit is growing, harvesting stuff that's already growing, really like watering the thing that needs to keep growing so you can continue to feed yourself and those you love. There's that sense of being emotionally nourished, emotionally fed, not just physically feeling grounded, but emotionally feeling grounded, because Taurus is a very fixed sign. So trust and believe that whatever turbulence you are internally going through, whatever thing you're just like, I'm trying to overcome this, I'm trying to move on from this, or I haven't let this go, I haven't said how I really feel about this. Trust that when you open yourself up to, you know, express whatever torment is happening here, things will really come into, especially, there's a sense of luckiness, especially again, Jupiter is going to be in Taurus tomorrow. Okay, Jupiter is going to be in Taurus, starts tomorrow. So there's a sense of grounding and luck because Jupiter, the planet of luck, is in Taurus. So the things that are expressed, it's almost like certain things are just going your way. And because Taurus is that sign, the Venus, pleasure. I just want to have a good time. I just want to feel good. I just want to eat good food. I just want to like do whatever I want. Because of that energy, trust and believe that there's an essence of like things more going in your favor than with Jupiter being in Aries, where things are just like being blood through, like they're just kind of being charged at, like, yes, this coming in quick, coming in quick, coming in quick. It's a sense of like, I'm good. I'm gonna stay good. I'm gonna stay fine. Like there's a sense of grounding there. So just trust that it will be alleviated and it'll be fine. It's gonna go your way. It's going to be stable. It's going to be okay. Don't like overwhelm yourself with, don't be too in your head right now. Don't be too in your head. Let some of that out and watch how things just resolve themselves. Just watch how things resolve themselves. Just by you know, speaking your minds. And with the Mercury retrograde, it's really good time to just set things right. So literally the energy is for it right now. So don't avoid your feelings. Don't avoid a conversation. Especially because a lot of people fear monger Mercury retrograde, right? Everybody's like, oh, don't text your ex, don't do blah 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 blah. I wouldn't suggest signing any like type of legal paperwork, but other than that, just you be fine. You'll be fine. It's a time to resolve like communication issues, right? It's a time to resolve any type of communication issues that are arising, so that you can come back to center. You can be grounded. You're supposed to enjoy Taurus season, right? You're supposed to enjoy Taurus season. So persevere. Leave no stone left unturned, because you're supposed to enjoy. You're supposed to keep pushing on. You're not supposed to stay stuck in any type of like stuck, like mental agony or you're not supposed to be stuck there. Oh, we got forgiveness. A crushed flower still gives off a sweet scent. Ooh. If some of you may just need to do a little, like if there's something that you have not let go, especially when it comes to a conversation, like you're still like, there might be some forgiveness that does need to come, be at play. And sometimes forgiveness is not easy. Sometimes forgiveness it's a process, and it can feel almost like we're put in a vulnerable spot, and it can feel really sensitive. It can feel like something's not right, something's not okay, something's just, it could just feel like a little rough. But when you practice the energy of forgiveness, the process of forgiveness, things shift a lot, because you notice how healing it is. You notice how the weight is coming off your heart, weight is coming out of your shoulders, weight is just completely everything is just shifted off. And that's part of the process. Don't hold on to what doesn't really need to be held. Like, whatever needs to be released now, and if that has to be forgiving someone, if you've been just hung up on that thing and you've been dragging it, it's going to impact how you enjoy stuff. And part of the season is enjoying stuff, enjoying your friendships, enjoying your relationships. If something doesn't feel right to the point where you don't even want to have anything to do with it, then leave. But if you know in your heart of hearts that's not what you want, you're just trying to come back to peace somehow, then you are going to have to forgive. You are going to have to release, and you're going to have to let go. Okay? We have change. As with the falling leaves, embrace change. And trust. Listen, when it comes to forgiveness, by the way, bottom of the deck is success. Bloom wherever you are planted. Bottom of the deck is literally success. It's one of those times where you do have to, think about how much of a toll something is taking on you, how much of a drag something is being. Like, if it's just like, okay, Ja, I can't just keep doing this, not only to myself, but to the person, the situation, whatever it is. If it's just going to make it tainted, and it's going to make it not feel good. And that's not worth it. If something doesn't feel good, then how are you supposed to enjoy your life? How are you supposed to enjoy your life? Think about it. If you're just kind of letting things rot, instead of like finding a solution, finding a release. Part of healing work is also letting things go. Like, even when you're healing stuff from your body, energy healing, you're releasing stuff. You are removing stuff that's trapped in your body, in your energy, right? You can't keep, doing the same thing and then be grounded and centered and amazing. It requires release. And sometimes release looks like forgiveness. As much as, some people might not want to see that as a good answer, because they might not want to forgive for whatever reason. But sometimes forgiveness is so healing. Forgiveness is so transformative. Forgiveness is it changes everything. We also have sexual energy coming up. I'm not surprised about this. Why am I not surprised about this? Because it's Taurus season, and Venus is the planet of pleasure. Come on now. Yes, y'all should be working with your sacral spaces. Okay. Y'all should be using it for manifestation. Okay. We also have time for new birth. Like, there's a sense of working with your creative space, and your sacral space. It's your conductor in manifestation. It is the thing that helps you bring things to life, quite literally. So you can actively work with your sensual energies to not only release anything that's trapped in there, but you can also work with it to manifest. So if you haven't been doing, working with your physical body in that sense, it can not only be very powerful as far as power and control within your own power and control, but also when it comes to your own manifestation energies, your own physical body and the release that it probably needs as well. So you have to also think about that. Don't just keep yourself trapped. Don't keep your body trapped. Don't, you know, go in, because that's not really what you need. Not during Taurus season. We also have protection, super important. And I love that it is the center tree. Very important to continue your protection, especially when it comes to stuff that's like socially. Make sure you keep your spiritual grounding. Make sure you're still doing your protocols for your home, right? Because Taurus energy affects within the physical realm. That includes your livelihood, that includes your home. All of the earth signs are very much focused on their physical livelihood and the physical home. So it's very, very important to make sure that you are actively still practicing protection, actively making sure you're not dismissing your healing, your journey, your comfort. And part of holding and maintaining that comfort is making sure that nothing is disturbing your peace. So then we have growth and abundance. Growth and abundance, I'm telling you, this year is going to be crazy. There's going to be some, not so great things that Jupiter and Taurus will be manifesting collectively, as far as generationally, stuff that's happening with the planet, because Taurus is an earth sign, so you will be seeing certain things with climate change and stuff. But this year is a really great year for abundance, manifestation, grounding, a lot to growth, and just really getting back to center, getting back to comfort, and feeling really, really grounded and feeling really good. This year is like ripe. Like it's almost like picking like that fresh fruit right from the tree, and it's just like you bite into it, whatever fruit, think about it, just that, think about it. Whatever it is. Mine is chinola. For those who don't know what chinola is, who are not Dominicans, it's passion fruit. That's mine. That or guava, one of those two. But both of those, just think about picking one out right from the tree and just opening it. You ever seen those videos of people just opening mangoes right from the thing and then just like start eating it and scooping it out? Think of the juiciness. Think of how the freshness of it. Like you're not getting it from anywhere else. It's coming right from the source and you're just consuming it. And it's just the best thing you've ever tasted in your life. That's the type of growth and abundance that's going to happen this year. It's potent. It's potent. It's very potent. So don't dismiss. Do not dismiss, but don't get in your own way, because we're, as humans, we tend to do that. We tend to occasionally find a way to get in our own way, and then it impacts our own growth and abundance. Okay, did they really just give me a whole stack? It had to be a whole stack. Okay, all right. So we have strength and confidence. Okay. They just threw a whole stack at me. We have abundance and earth. Okay. Patience and harmony. And part of that patience and harmony is forgiveness, joy, and love. And we have anger and spite. This is why the forgiveness is coming out the way it is. Then we have protection and boundaries. I want you guys to answer this. Have you been protecting yourself from a conversation that you think you're doing protection work, but that conversation actually needs to be had, and you just avoiding it, but it's hurting you in the process? Peace and tranquility. How are you going to have peace and tranquility? How are you going to heal through it if you haven't said what you needed to say? And then we have cooperation and completion. Something is coming to a close. There's closure. Things are literally, the way that this week is looking, even with the tarot, is like, yo, everything, it got cleared up. We're on the right page. We're on, we just needed to have that talk. That talk just needed to occur. And look at that. We had that talk, and then poof, poof, everything just, everything just got fixed out of the blue. It just fell from the sky, and all of a sudden this conversation, we're on the same page now. And you know what? I got clarity. Maybe I overreacted up here. Maybe I thought some things up here that was not actually being thought, or thought, like I overreacted up here and projected a lot of things out there that weren't actually happening, because that happens. That happens. Okay. Part of forgiveness and part of even holding those conversations, first of all, when it comes to having conversations with people, and, you know, when it comes to being honest and vulnerable, just first of all, state that. Part of having space being held for you and holding and being asked to like be listened to is saying, hey, can I be honest with you? Hey, can I just tell you how I feel? Okay. And just know ahead of time, like, this is something that's very sensitive to me, and I've been thinking about this nonstop, and it's just like, it's been in my head a lot, and I just want to clear this up with you. I want to talk to you about this because it's just still not sitting right with me. Part of the process of forgiveness is opening yourself up to the vulnerability of being honest. And when you're being honest, and when you're being asked to have space held for you, to speak your mind and say your piece and say what you need to say, is not always easy, because not everybody takes that seriously. And if somebody's not going to hold space for you properly, you have to analyze in that moment that what you want out of the situation is not what they're going to give you, which is space held for you. And if that's happening, then okay, go in protection and go into boundaries. Like, if you know space is not going to be held for you, then okay, they don't have the capacity of holding that space for you. Hold that space for yourself, and accept the circumstances of that situation for yourself. Okay, do it for yourself. Okay, but when it comes to, you know, someone who's actually trying to listen, and when you're trying to have those conversations, you're like, hey, I'm still mad about this, or I'm so frustrated about this. What would be the solution for you? Because and this is coming from my cardinal energy. Just know that right now I'm being hella biased when I say this, because I'm a Capricorn, but I'm the type of person, because I am a cardinal sign, right? Cardinal stellium, baby. Capricorn stellium, okay? Because I am very much a Capricorn, I like solutions, okay? I don't like to just whine about something or complain about something. I'm like, okay, what is the solution? What is going to get things back to okay? How do we get there? How do we come to, you know, it's kind of like, think about it when people are at work and they're always complaining about something. They just want to chismear and like be just like, oh my God, you saw what this person did, or oh my God. Yo, if you have feedback, why don't you just tell them that? Instead of constantly complaining about it. So it could be addressed, and so it doesn't be repeated. Some people like to complain just to complain and continue to complain just to see no change happen. I am not that type of person, because I am a cardinal sign. And so for me, I'm like, okay, what's the solution? Where do we go from here? Okay, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? I want you guys to think about the fact that, one, we're Taurus season. It's a earth rule sign. It is a fixed sign. Fixed signs, especially Taurus, the most stubborn sign astrologically. They can get stuck in whatever thing they're feeling for a really long time. But what triggers them into having that change and that shift is that they need to feel good, because, again, they're ruled by the planet of pleasure. So they need to come back to pleasure. They know they need to come back to pleasure. If somebody's not feeling good, they know that they have to find a way to come back to that thing that they are ruled by. That thing that is their essence, their core of feeling good. Okay, so when it comes to that needing to feel good, that's what pushes them into these conversations, into these expressions, into the, okay, I don't want to keep holding on to this. I don't want to keep getting stuck on this. I don't want to keep thinking this. Like, I just want this to be cleared up. I want this to be resolved. I don't want to have this anger, despite, like, I don't want to keep doing that. I just want to feel, I want to come back to center. Right? And so when Taurus energy is just like not grounded, that's when that disruption, that disturbance, that mental agony, that like, oh, this is bothering me. This is not, I want to come back to center. But literally, bottom of the deck is lighthearted and laughter. Like, wanting to come back to center is really, really, really important, because then they're grounded in that space. They're feeling very comforted. They're feeling very supported. They're feeling very much like their space is held, is being held. So when you're having these conversations that are very like tricky to navigate, understand who you're trying to talk to. And if somebody says they care about you but they can't hold space for you, you also have to accept the fact that they're only going to care enough about you up until their own, like, they need to hold space for you, even though they swear that you are someone they care for. Because at that point, they're going to care more for themselves, to not even recognize their own flaws in a situation that requires them to recognize their own flaws. It is it is an important time to seek closure. Seek closure. Okay? Seek closure. Stop holding on to the thing. Stop holding on to the thing. Come back to center. Come back to what you love. Come back to laughter. Come back to your enjoyment. Come back to you eating good. Okay? Come back to you feeling good. How do you come back to that? You have to address the elephant that's literally in your heart, literally in the room, literally in your mind. Grief work. Grief work. You really have to say your piece. Emotions. You have to say your piece now. You have to say your piece, because for what? For what? How are you healing if you're still holding on to the thing that is tormenting you? How are you healing? Part of forgiveness is you also coming to terms, even if the situation doesn't get resolved in the, the space is being held for you, you're being able to express yourself, apologies are being made, like not even compromises, but coming to center as, two are, being made. How are you putting in the work so you can come back to center, so you can come back to you feeling good? How do you come back to you feeling good? That is the question. You're stronger than you know. Okay, listen, when it comes to cows, when it comes to bulls, when it comes to like the Taurus energy, they just want to eat some damn grass and chill and be out in the fields and just living their lives, doing literally what they always do. Okay, that's what they do. But they're strong animals, and when they get pissed off, their horns come out. They're very strong animals. They're very huge animals. And so you have to also understand your own power in you wanting to come back to center, and you wanting to like really come back to your own routine. You wanting that emotional balance. You wanting yourself to be okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We also have join in, because some of you are literally actively running away from conversations. And again, you might think you're protecting yourself, but that conversation needs to happen so you can come back to center. It needs to happen so you can come back to center. Okay? If you don't, it's just gonna keep being like turbulence, internal turbulence. You have to try your best to come back to center. And so if that takes you, like, let's say you've been waiting for someone to take that step and reach out to you, and you've been like, oh, they don't even want to reach out to me. Yo, say what you need to say, and then be out if that's what needs to happen. At least it's getting out of your chest, because there's sometimes, and you have to think about this when we talk about midlife crises, right? The reason why those happen is because there goes a lot of unsaid things that are still up here. Like, oh my God, I should have said this. And there's a lot of things that should have been done that are still stuck in the physical body, that is like actions where your willpower, your ego wanted to do something but you didn't act on it within your solar plexus, and so it created a blockage where you're just like always regretting the inaction of your own actions. And so you have to ask yourself, are you going to allow this to haunt you later? Where it's almost like, oh my God, I wish I should have said this, or I wish I could have spoken my mind, or I wish I could have just, said how that really made me feel. And I wish, like, instead of doing that and thinking, oh, maybe that would have changed something, or maybe I could have had closure. Because a lot of the time, when you end things abruptly, especially if you're not an Aquarius or you don't have Aquarius placements, because let me tell you, it's a blessing. When you end things abruptly without closure, without proper closure, it can feel almost like there's unsaid things, like shoulda, woulda, couldas. Okay, a lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas. And so when the shoulda, woulda, couldas come out, and you're like, oh my God, I should have said this, I would have done that, but what if this would have happened? And then it's like, oh, future possibilities that were never given a second to be a thing because there was no action taken. And so it's important to understand, one, again, we are very much spiritual beings having a physical, within the physical realm, having a physical experience. The actions and choices that you choose to make are very, very important. I want you guys to think of it as like when you're playing a video game and you're on a certain level or mission or something. If there's something that you don't do on that particular level, like maybe there's a secret, I don't know, cave or something that you need to go enter if you want to do something. Maybe there's an achievement that you need to do. I don't know what it is. But if you skip over, you continue to do the story, you're not going to be able to come back to that level until the whole end of the game. And possibly not even after, to do and be given access to that area. Certain things have specific windows of opportunities for you to address them. And then they get blocked later. Like you won't be able to access it later. For those who play video games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. There are certain things that you have the leeway to being able to address them, come back and forth, and then certain things you have to wait till you finish the whole game to be able to come back to that level, to that area, to that whatever, to go back into that cave that you were like, you know what, I'll save it for later. And that waiting for the end of the game is literally your life. It's literally your life. And then you're like, oh, I wish, I coulda, I shoulda. Be mindful of how you are thinking that you're protecting yourself and creating boundaries that are actively harming you and your own actions. Okay. Be mindful about how your own actions are blocking you. And you're disguising it and thinking that it's protection work when it's really like, nah, you should have gotten that out of your chest. Nah, it's still in your mind because you still got stuff that you need to say. Nah, it's still in your mind because it didn't have a proper resolution. And even if someone's not trying to give you that window of you having that proper resolution, it's so important for you to at least seek that closure because that's part of healing. If you're going to heal, you need to do it right. You have to do it right. You absolutely have to do it right. Okay? And that is the weekly healing circle. I know I said we were going to end early and we still almost made it to the whole hour. But that is the messages that are coming through. It's I feel like there's some specific stuff that's going on for certain people. You know who you are, Spirit said. So I hope you got the messages that you needed to get. But just make sure that, you do what you need to do, because the last thing you need to do is let stuff haunt you that really does not need to be haunting you for no reason. Try to have the best year that you can, y'all. And if something is disturbing your peace now, it could literally still be disturbing your peace later just because it's not handled properly. So just set yourself up for success. Okay, let us stay in success energy, and say what you need to say. Okay, the only John Mayer song that I like is Say What You Need to Say, because it's very straightforward and every word is a fact. Say what you damn need to say. Okay. Say what you damn need to say, and then do the thing. Okay. I love you guys so much. Do not forget that I'm having a special on all services, all readings, all, you know, all of my classes and everything on my website. You could use the code Mama Love in all caps until the 28th of May on Dominican Mother's Day, which is when it's gonna end. For 44% off all of my services. So if you need a reading or anything, go to my website. And you know, it's been getting a lot of the dates been getting booked through because it's summertime and everything. So definitely, you know, accommodate the best that you can. I love you guys so much. I'm trying to read some of the good evening. I send you a few messages on Instagram. If there's a better way to contact you, I'd like to know. My website, which is in the description. But I'll check my Instagram after this. I'm just really bad at checking my DMs. I'm trying to get better, but oh my god, it's just I get a lot of them. I signed up for notifications for the trip, but I'm wondering, did you say the price? I have to. So I'm having a meeting on Thursday with like one of the organizers, so we can go in the next step of like basically continuing the planning. But if you sign up for the email, you will be one of the first to know when it launches. But I'm not trying to make it too expensive for people either, because I know, you know, your girl's always trying to do a deal or something. Just because you know, stuff be expensive. But yeah, it's gonna be a really cool trip. But I will try my best to make it affordable. Within all of the things that we're doing and everything, but I will try my best to like make it affordable and stuff. I promise. Okay, I was just making sure I wasn't missing anything. No, not at all. I'm really going to I'm gonna keep updating you guys about the Egypt spiritual retreat, because one, it's not happening till January, which is more than enough time to not only put all the information and everything out there, but for you guys to also get, you know, have time for, you know, if you want to come or not and whatnot. Like, it's enough time for everybody. So I'm really excited that, you know, time-wise, when it's happening, perfect time. It's going to be amazing. It's definitely going to be an amazing time. So I'm so excited. I'm so glad that, like, the feedback has been amazing. So I can't wait for all of the love, and like all of the connections, all of the moments, all of the like the pictures. Oh my god, it's just gonna be iconic. Like, I keep getting like glimpses and visions of it. It's gonna be iconic. It's gonna be an iconic trip. If you haven't seen my video breaking down the Egypt spiritual retreat like breakdown, it's on my YouTube. Go watch it. You know, we dive in and we talk about it a lot. So go watch it. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Anyway, I love you guys. I love you guys so much. I will see y'all in the next video. And in the next, you guys will get more videos, of course. If you're on TikTok and on Instagram, make sure you're following me on YouTube, because they get the majority of my, you know, all the videos and stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. I always got a peace sign everybody, because it's like I have three different cameras going on at the same time. Bye, y'all. Have a good night.